Hello everybody! I've been hard at work here on Putterland and I want to show off some of what I've been working on. First, you can see this cool little car that I'm driving around. It's loosely based on a 1990 Honda CRX. I say loosely because it's pretty loose, but that's what I was thinking of in terms of overall size and wheelbase, power, gear ratios, all that kind of stuff. That's what I was sort of looking at. This is going to be your first car that you're going to get from your grandma. It's got a tiny little trunk, but it's reasonably speedy, maneuverable, and it gets the job done. I have added a simple version of traffic AI. Cars now spawn in at random and drive around the roads. When they reach an intersection, they'll actually choose a random exit to take. The end result is that we have a simulation where it looks like cars are driving around with intent, even if they're not. Now the world actually feels alive in a way it really didn't before. Here in the Unreal Editor, I can show you how the road network works in more detail. You can see that the road network is made up of individual road segments. I'll click on a segment here. You can see that it has a starting point, and then it has a spline, which actually defines the path that cars will travel along. I can also vary the car's target speed at various points along the spline. Once a car reaches the end of a road segment, it will then choose to go to a random segment based on a list of exit segments. In this case, it can choose to either follow this segment, turning left and following along this road, or it can exit to this segment by turning right and following along this road. By building the network out of segments like this, I can build a full complex road network. I can have one-way streets, I can have detours, I can have multi-lane streets, I can have cars breaking off the main street and going into parking spaces or alleyways or all that sort of thing. Really, I can build a complete full road network. The traffic AI, the cars actually driving along the network, well, that's a different story. If I were to follow this red truck here, you'd see that the AI is actually really rudimentary. Right now, the only thing it's going to do is try to follow the road. So if I were to get in front of it, it's going to just drive right into me. It's not doing any sort of check for whether or not there's a vehicle in front of it. The other thing that it's not checking for is traffic rules. This car is going to blow right through the stop sign. Oh, he made a turn. But if I were to stop at this stop sign, you'll notice that no car actually obeys those rules. It's just going to go right through. There's also no support for stoplights, which will be more complex than a stop sign. Because cars aren't obeying the rules of the road, the end result is frequent collisions. This isn't helped by the fact that cars aren't checking to see whether or not they're driving into another car in the first place. Now, I kind of live in the middle of nowhere, so I need to be mindful of the fact that if I want people to play my game, I can't really be standing over their shoulder. So I've been paying a lot of attention to playability. And if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see the input box. That thing gives you contextual input as to what you can do at any given time. So if I were to go over to this delivery source, I can grab the cardboard box in it. And if I do, now I can drop the cardboard box. The input box gives me that contextual information. If I were to, say, take this box and bring it over to this one, I can now swap them. And it does so. This input box is consistent throughout the game. It works in menus, even in, say, the save game menu. It works in a vehicle. And it even works when using items. So in this case, I can actually show you a new item, the jack. So if I were to buy the jack here, I could use it on my vehicle. And now I can actually reposition my vehicle in 3D space and get into it. This way, if I'm out and about and I flip my vehicle over, I now have a method for getting it back. into a usable position. However, the jack's used up when you actually use it, so you need to buy a jack in advance and carry it with you. Currently, the real meat and potatoes of Putterland is in the deliveries. And deliveries can be found just about anywhere that sells goods. So here I am behind the big box store, and these purple squares are delivery sources. So if I were to grab this large cardboard box, it's going to the receiving door at the meat shop downtown. I can put it in my trunk. I'm going to need to rearrange things a little bit. I'm going to need to rotate this guy. And now I have one more space in my trunk. So here I am at the meat shop downtown. I can pull that big box out of my trunk. Also, notice how my character's hands actually conform to the box. That's a recent change using IK. Anyway, I can deliver the box to the receiving door, and then I could actually grab one of these boxes and put it in my trunk because I know I now have space for it. And, well, that's how this game becomes addictive. You're always close to a delivery source, and you always are close to somewhere where you can make a delivery. It makes the game addictive. You can keep going. There's really never a stopping point. And, well, that was my goal. Anyway, I got to keep developing this. Thanks for checking it out.